for? Yo, Mike, you hot. Great rising, everyone. Good morning, good morning. We ain't morning over here. Straight in our funded account. Uh-oh, I need to go move my car. Shit. Shucks. Forgot. We have PPI today. Let's move this out the way. Let's put it. One second. Let me check everything out, make sure everything is good. Good morning, good morning. What's going on? Testing, testing. Excuse me. Testing, testing. Trying to make sure the mic volume is okay. We got PPI here in 20 minutes. Let's see what they are forecasting. Core PPI month over month. Prior was negative 0.1%. The forecast is 0.3%. One second. Core PPI year over year. Prior was 3.4%. Forecast is 3.6%. PPI numbers was 147.953. PPI month over month. Prior was 0%. Forecast is 0.2%. PPI year over year. Prior was 3.2%. Forecast is 3.3%. Fed Collins is speaking today. Fed Williams, Baker Hughes oil rig count is today. Michigan 5-year inflation expectations. And that's pretty much it. Some more news from Michigan, but so we'll see what today brings. We are in a funded account today. Had one heck of a day yesterday. Blew my 150K eval. Taking a drop. Where was it? I'm going to find it. I just moved that. I'm gonna find it. 1 second. It was last night. All right, where are you at? It's plus this candle here. I took a long right here. My overall bias was short. I don't know why I did it. I seen the moving averages curling over. I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait for this short. It was doing this. I said, you know what? I think it wants to go long first. Find some rejection up here somewhere, then go short. So I took a long, and the moment I did, it went a little bit in profit and flushed. And of course, these markets are crazy. So that mixed with this little bit, like a couple candles here, I lost the account. I needed less than 4,000 to pass. I think I needed like 3,950 dollars to pass. That was okay. Lost $5,000 on that. Immediately opened my 50K account. Just switched to my 50K account on the screen here because I realized that my initial bias was still strong. You know, I was still strong in that conviction, and it was where we were finding rejection here. So I went short there and passed the 50K eval. Made $3,000, and then after this pullback, and we were below the cloud. The moving averages were starting to curl. I said, "Oh, this is going to continue lower." So I reset my 150K eval, made 85, 80, 50. So I made $8,580.50. And I needed what, $419.50. And something kept saying, just wait till tomorrow, just get it tomorrow or later. You know, your mind gets to you, what's another 400 when you just made 8,000, right? So I traded that with scalps through here to get the eight. Actually, I traded through here, and then on this bounce, that put me up to 8,000. This bounce was actually 7% lower, and it just bounced. It returned here, but it didn't bounce after that. Obviously, as you can see, and I seen this kind of W pattern playing out. All right, I was working, and somewhere in here, I think I went long again for like this break, and it flushed, and I was like, oh shit. So then right here in this cluster where I was like, all right, it's gonna break lower, it went up, and so I lost $5,000 easy. It was so easy. I was like, oh my god. So that happened, but that's okay. We're in a funded account today. We'll be in another 50K combine Monday with another on Top Step. I'm not sure if I'll reset the 150K eval with Apex because it resets on the 20th. I mean, I don't know. It just depends on how I feel. We'll see how we do in this account, but yeah, we'll see what we do in this, how we do in this account. If it goes sour, then maybe I'll just buy another 50K and wait for that 150K to reset. Even though the market conditions are there, I don't want to have that short window and be forced to just be under stress about passing it before the 20th, before the reset date. If you get enough movement in one day, obviously you can pass it in one day, or 4 or 5. But again, I don't want that pressure and that stress to bleed over into my funded account. So trying hard not to lose this funded account. So we are going to trade extremely careful today. I'm already in a hole from last night, and we are going to try to get out of it. So let's see. What do we want this? We want this. Oh, you know what? I don't know. I know what to do. Let me see something. 817. Look at my banner. Let me see something. Mm. Oh. 5 minutes. Can't download it. Oh, I think I know. I think I know. Let me see. 2 minutes. Core PPI month over month, 0.3 was the forecast, negative 0.1 was the actual. What is the market doing? Sorry about that. The market responded positively to its core PPI year over year. The forecast was 3.6, actual was 3.3. PPI month over month, forecast was 0.2, the actual was negative 0.4. PPI year over year, forecast was 3.3, actual was 2.7. What is that on me? Real quick. All right, so not that big of a reaction, but we got some kind of reaction. These overnight markets, all these wicks, and some movement that doesn't make sense. You know how the Nasdaq moves. This is how the market, the regular fast markets, the regular New York session was 4 or 5 months ago. Now our regular session, New York session, is historic. Mm, What? Rate cut odds are under 30% for next month. Will they cut? Will they not? The dollar fell as on concerns that it's standing as the world's reserve currency is deteriorating as the U.S.-China trade war escalates. Gold surged and the euro reached a 3-year high. Imagine that. Markets popping up. Little delay reaction to the PPI inflation report, but excuse me, a reaction nonetheless. What we got this up about? Hungry. The market really has not been acting in a sensible way at all. I mean, but this is NASDAQ, right? What am I expecting it to make sense? This is a 30-minute. Higher lows, higher highs, lower high, but a higher low. Are we going in to put in another higher high? Or are we going to put in a lower high and kind of squeeze? Who knows? It's the NASDAQ. It's the nasty NASDAQ. It does what it wants, not what we want it. It does not make sense. All right, give me 1 second. I need to make it like a BRB. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. One second. All right. Well, I don't know. I tried. I was trying to give it like an image that you can look at besides this white background. Why go make some tea real quick? You know, it's morning time. I need my tea. Give me a second. Marcus ain't doing nothing. Nothing is running away yet. I probably should. I really want to. Probably should bring up these charts over here and keep my messy charts over there and keep it clean for the viewers. Or I don't know. I've been using the cloud lately. Sometimes I take the cloud off, but I've been using it for like the last month. Be right back, guys. Tea time. I just be falling in here. Auntie, is that you in here with me? I ain't gonna lie, I ran my sweeper real quick too. I need to charge my phone. This was better. Slapping my head a little too hard. All right, pulling back here. Not just hovering around yesterday's close. Bounce off of it. And we we have a sloping resistance here. Is that like a large bear flag? Oh, that's too high. Yeah, no, we'll see. Excuse me. That's why I'm making some tea. Boom, 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 boom. See if we can make some money today. Markets are kind of not really exciting after that PPI data that just came out at 8:30. We had a little reaction to it, but sold right back off and we're below it. Who knows? Does that indicate that the true direction today will be north? Have to wait and see. Markets aren't doing anything right now, just kind of hovering around yesterday's close. Conditions are sideways. We had a bull cycle here, smaller bear cycle. Kind of a bull cycle, but we're still within this price range, so we're just ranging. That was the 2 minute. This is the 5 minute. You can kind of in this little Is that high? We are going to trade one micro today, maybe two if we get a good trade, but I don't want to lose this account if I can help it. Let's see. Man, my water boiling already? One second. Having me some tea from what Honey made from a local farmer. Look at that. Ain't that cute? You see it? Over to the left, over to the right. Oops. I'm back. You know what I did? I put it in my thermos because I broke the handles on my cups. I wanted to check something out. At the bottom of that range, do we go long from here? Do we take a stab at a long? Above the VWAP. Alright, side, back D. Where we gonna find support at? Is that it? There's support everywhere. I can't stand when the market does this. It's Friday too. That's why I'm down for the morning. So I am not opposed to not taking any more trades until next week. Unless we really get something. I mean, there's support here, support here, support here, which means resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, support here, cluster. It's clustered. It's a cluster flip. Is my mic too loud? What is it loud? What's the name of the honey? Start moving my mic when I get up. Come on, I'm gonna get this together. It's from Linda's Bee Farm. Looks like you can email them at, or no. They have a website, www.lindas. I'm gonna show the card here in a second. lindasbeefarm.com. And then they have info@lindasbeefarm.com. They were a really nice family. They were a couple. Let's see. Let's get this right. Can you see that? You can't. It won't. It's not focusing. I have to figure it out because I'm looking at the camera, so, and it's lagging. Okay, so if I'm stopped right here, pull back. You can see it. I can't see it. It's blurry. But yeah, Linda. I don't know why I was trying that. Linda's Bee Farm. It's so cute. It came in like There was like 6 or 7 of these, I think. 8, no, like 4, 7. They're all different kinds, but they sell like big ones and small ones. I showed it the other day. I don't know if you caught it. If you're watching, oh, you got it, thumbs up. See, look, it came in this. That was that Pirac Crocker, and it came in this. So you get like a little bit of each flavor, and it's really nice. But they had big bottles as well. Support local, support local. And they were a black owned bee farm. It was so cute, their little shop. They had a lipstick that they made with chapstick that they made with beeswax, and I actually bought some of that as well. I think they had some other lotions or something in there. It was really nice. It was really nice. They had soap. So yeah, we got the honey. Yep. It's pretty dope if you ask me. Hey. I might want to put my hoodie on because I'm a little chilly. Market's open in 25 minutes. But that was long. See how it was building out. See that? Let's take a stab at it. Let's take a stab. We are trading 1 micro. Probably should have waited for a pullback to like test these highs. But see if we can get a push or not. It's like, I was gonna say that like 25 bucks or so. That was it, 22. Because of the size of these candles, I mean, if you catch the move, you're good, but that was some nice, I have to turn it though. So don't, come on, why is my phone just vibrating with emails and stuff, right? They about to stop me out. Again, there's just this resistance. Look at this. There's the resistance here. This whole zone. That's where we rejected at. Resistance. Support here. This is not my... I don't like trading these markets. I get destroyed every time I trade. My phone isn't charging. Every time I trade in these markets, I get destroyed. When the price action is like this. $9.08 is the time. Stopped out. All right. Long didn't work there. Well, it did down here from where I said initially. But we couldn't get any more follow through than that. So lost about 20, 30 bucks on that trade. But listen, that's 20, 30 bucks 20 times, that adds up. Oh, I guess short was a move, huh? I'm not about to play with NASDAQ today. I'm really not. I will just end the stream and cut it off. I'm probably gonna be streaming till like 10:30 though. Then 10:30. Short. Why did I go long? Oh, I don't know. I mean, MACD was bearish. Cloud was bearish. I took a base off of this VWAP bounce and got into it late, which was, I don't know, maybe I'm tired. 18-4, 18-4. What the? Cake and brownies? That is short. That's not normal. I don't know. Treasuries hit 4.5%. Well, that's a short. But how long do we? Why don't I have a? Oh. Can't chase. We missed it, and you see it comes down here. So this cluster over here, there's resistance here, support here, all at somewhere around these levels, and that's where we bounced. So I would have had to catch this trade here in order to, you know, get that trade, or chase here, which I don't want to do. That was a nice trade. But if we do lose the account, so be it. It's part of the game. Our cost of entry was, we paid $16 for the count and $125 for the activation fee instead of the month to month $105. So less than $150. If we get a payout, then all is well. Either way. See? As you can see, it bounced. Well, it's trying to bounce. But that wick right there lets us know that there's some sellers in here. So, I mean, yeah, I'm tired. There's some buyers in here. Maybe I just shouldn't trade it. Because I lost 600 in the overnight. Got 300 of it back. I was like, all right, go to sleep. Took another trade. Now I'm down like 350, 360. And another trade to get that back. And obviously I ended up back down $600 because that's how it goes. And yeah, it bled over into the morning. I was upset pushing buttons. Do not judge me. Don't trade like I trade. Don't do what I do this shit. Y'all, I got my thermos. My thermos. Let me take this tea bag out. I mean, I'm wondering if we're gonna go break that level or not. It looks like on the 15 where we broke this. Well, that's kind of a zone, so right? It's always a zone. So yeah, we broke the zone. Will we go break this level? I don't know. I just want it out of here, like away from this. Come test these lows, break them, test these lows. and then see which way we're going. Well, if we could do that, we might continue continue to test unfinished business within this big candle that just ran up Wednesday. Yeah, it's dropping pretty nice now. That was a short I definitely missed. We broke those. Yeah. All right, that's a support. Expect a little bounce. How much power can a bounce have? No one knows until it's finished. Looks like we have started a bear cycle here. Right? Price sold off, bullish divergence, sell off. Will we get another divergence that we can short? Or does it just go from here? Should see a little bounce, but with some kind of, I mean, it could break through, but we spent so much time here. What was that? 434 to 514. I just don't like when NASDAQ does that twice. Just get out of that area, you know? Just get out, just go. Just go. Just get away from here. These were good trades, though. These were good trades. Here. Here. Oh my gosh, after that cluster. And being able to hold it through that pain. Through all the drama. That's drama. So much drama. Look at that. Drama. Be able to hold it here and then get this big spike up. Oh, should I sell? Comes down. Drama. For a clean move up. Drama. Clean move down. It's okay, that's why we're trading one micro. But in these market conditions, you can definitely hit a $2,000 loss with one micro or two micros. Two would be faster. Four would be even faster. What is this music? I'm gonna politely turn that. Short and long, Sage. Hi, how are you this morning? I hope all is well. So when you short a stock, that means you're basically selling it. And so if you short a stock at $10 and you're saying that I'm speculating that this stock is going to go to $7. You short it at $10, the stock goes to $7, you resell it at $7, and you keep that $3 profit basically. That's just a a generic example of what shorting a stock means. So shorting a stock, being bearish, or selling is all the same. When you go long, that means you're buying a stock. So if you buy it at $10 and you say I'm buying it at 10 because I think it's going up to 15, and you sell it at 15 and you get your 10 and that extra 5. So you got a $5 profit. And I'm sorry, for short it's the same way. You get that profit plus the original. If you sell it at 10, goes down to 7, then when you sell it, you can sell it for that 13. If that makes sense. It's so weird when you first learn it, and these are called futures, so that's basically what it is. It's giving you, it's like it's a contract between a buyer and a seller about prices. And it's good to learn that, to know, but trading the chart is how you make the money. So it's the same with options. So if you buy put in options, that means you're thinking that the market is going to go down. On the other hand, there's a seller that sold you a call because they think the market is going up, or sold you a put, I'm sorry. So they sell you a put and then you buy it. And you want the market to go down and you'll make money. If the market doesn't go down, then you lose money. And it's the same thing with futures. That's why I like futures and options. With the stock, if you trade in stocks, if the price goes down, you lose your money. How much ever you invested, or whatever your risk tolerance is, it all depends on the person. With options, if you buy an option contract for $100, the most you can lose is $100. You can't go negative and now you owe money. With futures, you can. But that's why I trade with prop firms. Like yesterday, I only have a regular stocks account. Where do you open an options account? You can actually trade options on Robinhood or Webull. Robinhood, they're both beginner friendly. I think Robinhood is a little easier for beginners. There are a lot of videos on YouTube, but maybe I could probably do one because I do trade options a little bit on the side. And that's what I'll be doing with these payouts. Is not all of them, but a certain percentage of my money will go into my own personal account where I trade options, because it is good money as well. What does what mean? When you go short, you sell. When you go long, you buy. What stock is this? This is the MNQ. So this is a futures contract that I'm trading. And I'm trading the NASDAQ, so it's an index. Trading the NASDAQ. And in futures, it's the NQ or the MNQ. NASDAQ or the micro NASDAQ. This one I'm trading today is the micro NASDAQ because I only have $2,000 of risk on this funded account. And so my goal is to build up a cushion, which I'm not doing so well right now, but to build up a cushion to be able to get to payouts. I want to get past this $2,000 buffer, and then at like $2,600 take a $500 payout, just to get the payout, to get it going on this account, and then keep building it up from there. And if you have a regular stocks account, you should be able to trade options on. Where do you have that account at, if you don't mind me asking? You should be able to trade options on there. Robinhood even lets you trade futures now, but trust me, you don't. Futures is not. They're highly leveraged, and like right now, it's $18,410 and 75 cents. You need at least that to open a position, right? The moment it goes against you, you're getting margin call. I'm not doing that. I'd rather keep the prop firms in business, right? Give them $50, $30, $20 when their sales, to get into account for them to back me with their funds, right? For me to prove that I can trade by passing evaluation or a combine. Once you do that, you get into account, which right now is like I'm in is a funded account. So the money that I make from this account, I can pay myself. All I have to do is make the money. If I don't make the money and I end up losing the $2,000, where it's better I lose $2,000 that I didn't have in the first place, versus losing it on my real account. That's how I look at it. Because I've done the options game and I've lost a lot of money trading options. Made $6,000 in 2 hours, took that account up to $14,000 in 11 trading days, I believe it was, or 9. It was 11 trading days, I think, over a course of 3 weeks. But my account was under 25,000, so I was affected by the pattern day trade rule, which means you can only trade 3 times within a 5-day trading week. So I would trade 3 times the week, the next week 3 times, then the next week it was like 2 days, and I took $300 to $14,000. And so ever since then I've been hooked on trading, because I know that if I figure it out, excuse me, I had to sneeze. If I figure it out, it can provide. It's a tool, right? Money is a tool to provide me to do the things that I want to do and live the way that I want to live, right? Have the freedom to do so. So, I was making money, and then what happened was I started losing money, and I started realizing that I really didn't know how to trade, and I had to learn how to trade. That the market conditions were bearish at that time, and so I kept seeing the same thing over and over. So I was making good money, but when it got to the point where the market conditions started changing, that's what it was like. That's where it was like I started losing money, and I said, okay, I have to figure out what just happened. Why did it change? And so that's where time comes in, because that was one bear market that I was in. So now after the bear market, there's a ranging market that I have to trade through, and then a bullish market that I have to trade through, right? And so you get one, you trade that, and then you're trading over the holidays, and you really don't know what happened. That's the first year. Then the second year you do it again, and you're going through all the cycles for the year, because maybe you didn't start January the first year, right? So you're going through all the cycles, and I'll get to your questions in a second. You go through all the cycles, and then before you know it, you start realizing, like the second year, you start realizing things. So then the third year, you start realizing things, and you're looking for those things, and you're trying different strategies. This strategy is working, and then it stops working, and so you start switching the strategy, thinking that your strategy isn't working. So you got to go through all these things the whole year, and then you start getting upset. Then emotions, and then your psychology. You're learning all that within like the third year. And then you get to the point where it's like a aha, and it's like these different strategies that I've been trading, it's not because they don't work and I got to keep switching them. It's because there's market cycles. And so the strategy I was trading in Q4 of last year did not work coming January, February of this year. Right? And so that's when I realized that I lost my funded account. And I'm like, what is happening? I started looking back over that, and I'm like thinking about everything that I've been through, and you recognize things within these markets, and you just start to recognize, you start to realize them. And that's why it's hard to trade, because time can't be taught. And a lot of people don't want to spend that 3-4 years like they would in the university to learn how to trade. You know, like I know now from doing this for almost 4 years, basically 4 years, that the market conditions now and overnight, I've watched it long enough to know that those market conditions are how our normal market used to be. Like what we're seeing right now, this is how our normal market used to be. But when I've been trading live and trading recently, since, you know, January, or maybe February, March, 200 and 100-point 2-minute candles is not normal. That prices out retail trailers. You can blow your account in 2 minutes. So yeah, learning time. You got to go through that thing. You gotta go through everything, and that's why it's good to have a mentor. But still, you'll still have to go through the fire, but you'll have somebody there to be like, why is this happening? Or I feel like every time this, or this is what I'm noticing, and then they can kind of, you know, help you out with that. But what's going on in politics? Right, I wanted to bet. Bet. You wanted to bet, speculate on stocks going down, because I'm pretty sure after the 90-day tariff over, I'm pretty sure stocks will drop. I know, and that's the funny thing about the markets, because some people think they're gonna drop, some people think they're gonna go up. They're gonna do both. We just don't know how, you know. That's like this week, this Monday, everybody was so bearish. Everybody was so bearish. I was bearish. Everybody was bearish, because the market has been selling off. And what did we do? We ran up 1,600 points. You know how much money was lost that day, and how many people blew their accounts that day, as far as prop firms go. And then we sold right back off. And then what was it, yesterday or the day before? We had a 2,000 point rally, and we're selling back into that now. But one thing I've learned while trading over the years is you have to be careful, right? If it was the most obvious thing, is sometimes not the thing to do, because that's where the money will be made, right? If 90% of the people, or 80 or 70% of the people think that the markets are going to drop, what do you think is going to happen? If I'm the market maker, and everybody is short, and they have money going to the downside on shorts or whatever, puts, long-term positions, or like, you know, positions over the month, the way I'm going to make money is that's liquidity. So I'm going to make money by looking for buyers and taking the markets up, trying to execute trades, to get the price higher. Even if it is going to go down, that's what a trap is called. It's a trap, right? You see them on these charts every day, all day. You might hear traders talk about bull traps and bear traps. It's a trap. Everybody thinks the market is going up. Well, yeah, it probably is, but it's going to go up, trap you in. It'll come down, just enough to stop you out. As a retail trader, we only have so much that we can withstand. And it'll stop you out before reversing and going the opposite way, which you'll notice when you start trading. And so that's another thing you have to go through. Understanding that the market isn't just out to get you. It's not a personal thing, that the market is made to establish trades. That's what the market does. And it's not here to give money. It's literally here to take money. So that's why it's trade at your own risk. And that's why a lot of people, they just would rather not deal with it. But yeah, I would just say be careful. If you decide, I can't tell you what to do, but I have heard a lot of talk about that after the 90 days, stocks may continue to fall. We might see a recession. Market is open. Oh yeah, Auntie, you gotta understand the market is designed to facilitate trade. It's not, the retail doesn't move the market. The big money, smart money, institutional traders, the banks, they move the markets. They really move these markets. So it's like a whale. You know how a whale go to swim. Remember on Nemo, the whale go to swim and get the krill fish, and they're the ones that take the big gap of it, right? We're just the little traders that's like, I see what you're doing, I see you eating, let me grab a little piece of it. And not to get it twisted, we can make good money as traders, but it's the people with the billions that really move the markets. I have it at Chase Bank. I would just say, do your due diligence, Sage, and be extremely careful. They rejected your application on opening an option account. Just try to go with Robinhood. I don't know if it's because of how you answer your questions. They may want you to have a little more experience with trading, or they may want you to have, because options is very lucrative as well, and you can lose good money on options as well. Even though you only lose what you put in, but the fact of being a new trader, trust me, I've been through it, and not having discipline, and just pushing the button, not understanding what's going on. Before you know it, you spend $1,000 in a week, if you have that, or $1,000 in a month, or whatever. Basically, you're spending too much money. A lot of these institutions still have a obligation to not fuel or promote gambling, right? Because it's really not good for the economy if everybody is gambling and throwing their money into the market. You was investing in companies like Meta, SoFi. I got SoFi. Well, some other stocks I made profit, but I closed and held profit, and now I'm waiting to cash out. I don't know what I will do next. You sold your app. You sold Meta and your Amazon and your SoFi. Yeah, the stocks went up as soon as the 90-day tariff was announced. Yeah. So once it goes away, won't it drop? Well, that makes sense, right? It seems like it would. I can't tell you what it. Only thing I can say is, because I can speculate that it would, but I really don't know until I see what the market does. And then watching the markets beforehand. But because another part of the markets too is, even though retail doesn't, we do have more stake in the markets now than we did 20 or 50 years ago, right? But the psychology of people also moves the market, and that's why trading works. Because there might be, say there's 100 traders in the market, and 60 of them have the same belief that you do, and 40 of them believe the opposite. Well, you both can make money, and some will lose depending on where you get in and out the trade. You understand what I'm saying? So 60 of you might think the market is going to drop, so you might sell. But there might be 20 of the 60 that got in too late on the sell. And so when price started to rise back up and the others started to buy in, right? Because they wanted to market, they thought the market was going to go up. The other 40, by the time they started buying in, the people that bought in, that sold too late, they are left holding the bag. You know what I'm saying? So this is the way the market works. This is why trade works, because everybody sees the market differently. But again, you got to understand that politics does play a huge part in the markets, and I've been learning that more so over the last year or so. I did take an economics course in college, but my first year 2 and 3 of trading, I was more focused on learning the charts, and I didn't know at that time, but getting used to the market cycles. Like, there are different cycles, right now I can trade the initial balance setup. Q4 initial balance wasn't working for me, right? I was trading the highs and lows. I was trading within ranges, the highs and lows of the 30-minute ranges. Another thing is that the market only makes significant moves around 20 to 30% of the time. The other 70% is ranging, so you got to go through that cycle of learning how to trade a ranging market. So trading is the hardest thing that you will ever do in life, but it's possible. It's easily the hardest thing. Sounds like they're I tried to only invest money I'm willing to lose. Yes, that's what you yeah, good. Only invest money that you are willing to lose. Exactly. But you still want to do your due diligence, and not just try to give it away. Because one thing that is true is that the markets are made to go up over time. And that's why people will say, you buy at a low, catch a pullback, like a 30% off of a high pullback, like the times we're in now, and you hold it for a year, 5 years, 10 years, and you're almost guaranteed to make money, right? Unless the market was a crash and it was like over with and it was the end of the world. But at that point, who cares anyway? Because you're not getting money out of banks. 401ks are gone. Does cash mean anything, right? And that's why a lot of us have to get out of that mentality of being scared to invest. If you have a 401k, your 401k is in the market. If you have life insurance, it's in the market. So if the market was to crash, everybody is, a crash could be, depending on what you consider a crash. 10% is a crash, or a correction, 20-30%, that's a bear market, and anything over than that, you get into 50s and stuff, and now you're talking a big R word. But again, if the markets crash, everybody is affected in some way. But I think it's important that we understand that our dollar, every second of the day, the USDebtClock.org will show you every second of the day your dollar is depreciating. So why are we holding on to it? This is why companies and the banks and institutions like that, they become wealthier and they trade, because they understand, right? And I'm not a fiduciary, but they understand that your money depreciates daily. So even today, like your check, it decreased, and it's going to decrease more with these tariffs. Not decrease even as in hours, even though some people will lose jobs if this gets bad and it keeps going the way it's going. They will cut back on hours, and people's paychecks will shrink, not only from hours, but they'll shrink because inflation keeps going up and because things cost more, right? So what your paycheck bought you a year ago, it won't buy you the same now. And with that in mind, it's good to invest your money in these assets and these companies that will bring you some good return on your money. And then understanding portfolios, like the portfolio you have with Chase, you know, working with somebody and doing your own homework as well to understand what it means to build a recession proof portfolio, right? With stocks that won't be significantly affected by a recession. Like all stocks will be, but you know, you don't want to have all your eggs in a certain basket or a certain sector to where when the market comes crashing down, you're bleeding out so bad you just might have to sell. All right, we're making some moves here. Watching it, we're watching it. I made like 3,000. That's good. I sold because I didn't want to get greedy and end up losing everything. Reinvest. Well, that's good. What you could have did though was you could have just took your profits off the top, because that's free money, and the original amount that you invested, you could have left it in there and just said, we let it do what it do, you know. Or I mean, it's up to you, but you could have. I don't know if you thought about that, but you could have. And all right, we're making some moves to the upside here. Let's see how long this continues. Ooh, buyers are stepping in. Yeah, you could have kept your original investment in there, because now it's money free, right? You already made money. I mean, especially, it depends. If you made 100% of your investment, then you know, because if everybody was to sell, right, that's how companies really just go out of business. Everybody sell their shares, somebody got to hold. And usually it's the wealthy people, because they have enough money outside of that to be able to, you know, let that company hold their money and use it to do what they need to grow. Because that's all investing is, right? You believe in a company, you give them your money, you say, hey, I believe what you're doing. Here goes some money. Give me a couple shares of that. Now you got part ownership of the company. You know, they send you things depending on, in your bank, you should get, I mean, with Chase, you know, with Robinhood, whatever, you'll get emails and things about what, all right, we're starting off here, pulling back, about what the company is doing. I'm going to get rid of these. About what the company is doing, because you're a part owner. And some companies you invest in, and you say, yeah, I believe what you're doing here. I'm gonna give you this much every week, every 2 weeks, every month, or whatever, once a year. And they say thank you, and they go do business with your money, and they invest in the company, and they invest in products or services, goods, whatever they have, whatever they're offering, and they do what they do to try to make the forecast of the company grow. And some of those companies in return pay you, which is dividends, right? They pay you a certain amount on each share you own. And so that's a part of investing. When you invest, you can invest in stocks that don't have dividends, but you also want those stocks that have dividends. And then what you want to put it on, like on Robinhood, it's called DRIP, which is dividend reinvestment. And so the reinvestment plan, which reinvest your dividends, you know, as they get paid out to you, they just automatically go and you buy more shares with them. So now that's increasing your assets and how much you would make. We're pulling back here, how much you would make over time. And a good thing about, I'm not a fiduciary, but if I'm not mistaken, another good thing about reinvesting in dividends is you're not taxed on them yearly. So if you do just cash it out, you'll be taxed on that. But if not, I don't know if it's the next year or the year after that or what, but for that year, the dividends that you reinvested are not taxed. Oh, I got a lot of little nuggets in my notes that I've been learning over the years. Bounce and see, this is that price action. This that price action. Hold on, I gotta chat here in a second. But I can't take profit out of the account into the cash settle. Oh yeah. No. It's the same in Robinhood. Yep. So maybe you just sold today. So in Robinhood it takes a day. So if I buy an option today and I make money on it today, the cash will settle by end of the day, and then tomorrow I can pay myself. And that's why I love options. I never left options. Trading these is just like options. I got tired of battling Delta, and so I was just losing too much. I needed something that was going to help me, that was going to keep me in the game longer. as far as learning how to read the charts, you know, and learning what works and what doesn't work. New highs today for the New York session. Looks like we might go try to take out. Are we gonna go take out the overnight high? Yeah, so Robinhood is the next day. It's basically 24 hours, but by the time the next day is there, you can settle. And with Robinhood, if you put it on cash account, then you can invest as much as you like, more than 3 times a week, but you can't invest with or trade with unsettled funds. You have to wait until it settles to trade the next day. So where if you're on not a margin account, if you're not on a cash account, I forget what account they call it. If you're not on a cash account, then you can only trade 3 times in 5 trading days, but you can trade with unsettled funds. But again, you're limited because you can only take 3 trades. So you might take 3 trades Monday and you can't trade again until the next Monday. And that used to suck. And I was like, man. So then I found out about futures and they were like, are you tired of having the right direction? The price going the way that you wanted it to go, but you still lost money? I'm like, yes. Why? I'm right about the direction. I just got in a little too early, but because of Delta, I was losing money, but I understand Delta a little more now. So I'm ready. I'm ready for these payouts, and I'm gonna tear the option game up. Ended up buying Meta at $4.88 per share, and I sold at $5.75. Nice. If you look at the data of the stock, high 600, then there will be a correction with a stock drop. I just try to understand the true value of the companies I invest in, right? Which is good. That's good. That's what's up. Right. So you did good. You did good, Sage. Congratulations. I tend to only, yeah. That's what's up. But I can't take a profit out of the account until the cash settle with the already right there. Yeah, so congrats for that. You can just take money out of an active account, like an active investment. What do you mean? On Robinhood? Out of an active investment? Like if you, man, look at this market go. Like if you, what do you mean? Because if you have an investment, you have to sell it, but you can't take the money until the funds settle. I think I need both of my ears. That's why I sold everything. I got 2 to 3 days for the cash to settle. Dang. Well, that's banks too. Banks are so different. Banks are so different. Yeah, it's closed on weekends. Yeah, next week Tuesday. That's kind of cool though. I don't know how long you've been trading, but it'll help teach you patience, right? But the only thing that sucks about that, which is why I didn't like being on the instant deposit account. What is this account? Let me go. The reason why I didn't like being on that account is because when I was waiting till my 5 days were up, I would miss moves, and I would just be like, oh. I would miss the moves, and then when I was able to trade, the markets they already moved, so I missed everything. And so yeah. Yeah, but I got my let's see. Oh yeah, it is called a margin. It's just a regular margin account. So you get a cash account or a margin account, but you don't have to activate the margin. Like you don't have to trade with more capital than you actually have on Robinhood. And they have their charts now that you can pull up online, so it was just convenient for me because I still work. And so if I am trading, because I trade SoFi options, if I am trading, I can just pull my phone out real quick, like, and check it. You know, I hold it for like a week and I can pull my phone out and just check it. I don't need to be on a website, you know. Well, nowadays you can get on a website on the phone anyway, but I could just pull my app up real quick and, you know, execute right there. or if the markets are dumping or whatever, you can pull your app out, execute right there. But not recently, they've basically been pricing out smaller traders because of the market conditions and the money you can make. I mean, you can still spend $200-300 and make some good money buying an out of the call, out of the money option. Puts it was, but the at the money and in the money, the prices were jacked up so high. They were jacked up so high. One of those days they were like 9 times. They were like 9 times. The premium price was like 9 times higher. So something. It was wild. The ones that would have cost you like $100, $123 something to get in, $900, $1,000 easy to get in. And that's just one contract. But you can expect that with movement like that. One day sounds amazing. Yeah, it is. And you can always still invest with your bank though, you know, with your other investments, like the ones you hold. But it's the same. It's the same data. They got like a 3-cent spread now. It used to be free, but I think it was built in the actual fee. But they have like a 3-cent spread. So if you want to buy an option for $1, you know, which is $100, because it's times 10, it'd be like $1.03. That's the only thing. And if you sell it for $200, you know, it's gonna be like you're gonna get like $197. Because of the 3-cent or 190. $99.97 or something like that. Because when I was trading my option contract, I sold it at 100%. And they gave me a little less than 100%. I was like, oh, I forgot to price that in. But it was okay. All right, pulling back. What's the game plan? What's the game plan here? Big candles. What are we doing? Got my fig bar, or what is this? Yeah, my Nature's Bakery fig bar. Y'all excuse me, y'all know I be eating on my stream. $9.51. I ain't gonna stay here all day. But see, and these are the kind of markets again that the initial balance strategy was working in before Q3 of last year. So where, see, we got a high. So far it's 9.52. Will we go break that high? What will we do? Sometimes, you know, in these kind of markets, I would wait for initial balance to form at 10:30, and then try to catch a couple trades, depending on what we do after initial balance is established, and volume dies down at that point. So the markets seem less volatile than they are in the mornings. And I would trade, at that point I would trade 1 mini. But again, I'm just realizing this as of the last, I don't know, just recently. I say the last, not even month, maybe month. Actually, yeah, last month or so, initial balance was working. Some of the days were there, even though we get these crazy days with these 200 point and 100 point, 50 point, 60 point, 80 point candles. After initial balance is established, the markets kind of quiet down and give you some clearer movements. But see, a year ago and 2 years ago, I didn't understand initial balance like that. I always heard it, but I never understood it because I hadn't read the book. When I picked up a book, it all made sense. Yeah, and then I started implementing it in my strategy. But it wasn't until doing so and it working and then it not working that I figured out that it works in different conditions. All right, we're breaking. We just made another high. I knew that was a pullback right there. I was watching it. Bearish divergence right here. That was a bearish divergence within a bull cycle. And here's the bull cycle. Market moves in waves, right? So you have a cycle and you have a wave, within another wave, another wave. We'll have another wave until and that happens on every time frame until the market structure changes. Hello? Yep. It's all a waiting game, that's for sure. Just patience. Patience is key. Waiting game for sure. Ooh, that's hot. We gonna make new highs? What we gonna do? So I'm gonna Amazon, Apple, Google, ABGO, Palantir is up. Tesla's flirting with green and red. Meta is down 0.81%. Intel is down. SPY is up. QQQ is up. SoFi is up. SoFi doing their thing though. I just really feel like it's a stronghold. Let me see. Yeah, especially with their $1 billion agreement they have to expand to a loan platform business. for personal loans, because I think before they were like what, business schools and stuff like that. And that pullback so far just had, I'm seeing the wave in real time, right? I bought some more. I sure did. Matter of fact, let me see what it trading at. Probably, I was gonna say around $11. Yep, $10.50 down here at 9. Then it hit. I thought it hit $9. Where it hit $9 at over here? 10.16. What is like 9.69 or something? When I looked at that day, there go 9.49, 9 whatever. That was crazy. It's Friday. What are we doing? In the middle. That's what we're doing. In the middle of this so far established initial balance. Make you bullish, make you bearish. Take everybody's money. What we like to trade is clear moves. So sometimes no trade is the best trade. I mean, it's not like I'm not down for today, because I am. But we are in our funded account and we didn't blow it, so that's the good news. There's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow to trade. Not like Saturday, but you know, tomorrow. Making you bearish. Testing the 200-day moving average. Testing VWAP. Bounced off of VWAP. Broke through the VWAP. Are they flipping it? Or are they fooling us? Flipping it. Cloud is bullish. MACD is bearish. RSI is below neutral. It's definitely a short from the top, but I missed that. So right now what I'm looking at, I don't have a trade. I like this beat. So I'll never surrender. Haha, markets, I will never surrender to you. Ever. Yeah, this is the NASDAQ. It's the futures version of it. So if you're on your charts, NQ is the NASDAQ. The chart you're looking at here is the M as in Mary, MNQ, which stands for micro NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ moves at $5 a tick, $20 a point. So there's 4 ticks within a point, like there's 4 quarters within a dollar, right? That's why if you can see the numbers over here to the right, so it's like 0.25, 0.0, 0.50, 0.75. Again, the whole 0. So it moves at $20 a point, so you can make good money, but you can also lose money fast. $20 a point. You know, trading the NASDAQ with 100-point candles is $2,000. So within 1 or 2 candles, you can hit the max loss limit, which the account allows you to risk. So my risk on this account is $2,000. So it would be foolish of me to trade a mini in these market conditions, right? 4 months ago, I would have did it, but within these market conditions, the way that the candles are, it doesn't make sense. So I'm trading minis, which is M&Q, which is a tenth of a tenth of the regular NASDAQ. So instead of $5 a tick, it moves 50 cents a tick, which is $2 a point. And how crazy the markets are is that in these markets you can make $1,000 or more trading 1 micro. 4 months ago you couldn't do it because you had to wait forever for 100 points. You would really have to put on size to do that. So just to give you a little perspective of how the market has changed. And I'm down $1,000 trading micros. But it's not that I wasn't even taking bad trades. I was on tilt. I'm not gonna lie, I was on tilt last night because I was up and then I was down, and I was up and down. And for me, overnights is either, just like any other day, you do bad or you do good or you don't. So I can almost guarantee you, if my first 2 trades are losers, I probably just leave it alone. And then if I get money back, which I did last night, I should really walk away. But I start trading my P&L because I didn't want to start the day down $600. So I got $300 back, and I was still trading my P&L, and it ended up disastrous. And I went to bed down $600. But I was like, I don't even care. I'm gonna sleep good. Tomorrow's another day, and the fact that I'm trading micros makes me feel good. And then this morning, I got caught in a couple candles. It was like, oh, -50, -100. I was like, no. Why are we doing this morning? And I was like, okay, it's Friday. This kind of Friday I'm gonna have. So that's why I'm being careful about it. I don't really mind being down 1,000, because if you're down 1,000, you can make 1,000. And again, I'm trading micros, so I have a whole lot of room, a ton of room. If I'm patient, for the right trades and wait for the right trades and not trade like I was last night. But I have a ton of room to make money, and this is a funded account, so I treat it differently than I do at eval. And plus, I'll have another evaluation Monday that I can trade. But I treat it different than the eval. I don't care. I don't mind making $100 a day or $200 a day until I get out of that $1,000 drawdown. Like, I'm not gonna go for it all in one day unless the market presents those moves, because I've learned over time, when you do that, you just blow it. So I don't care. I lost 1,000. That's fine. It's all right. Good. Now let's show how strong we are, and let's prove our strength and our skill, right? Like I said, $100, $200 a day, 300, 400, 500, whatever it gives me, I'll take it. And then we'll climb out of that hole. I've done it before, trading micros. So I know how it's done, You don't try to, and it's crazy because I'll do it on the short term, like last night, trying to trade to make it up. But then you get, me now, I still go on tilt like every trader does. There's traders that have been trading 20 years and they still go on tilt. But because it's a human emotion, right? It's our response. It's how we deal with things. But I get to a point like $1,000. I'm like, all right, damn it. I was trying to get it. Didn't work. So now I have to just take 5 days or more if I need to, and that was a nice move. This is bullish. They want to go higher. I want to take that breakout trade. MACD is bullish. Should I go? That was the entry right there. Right in my mouth. Come test this. Come test this. Should I put an order in? Nasdaq be Nasdaq be fooling people. We gonna wait. More resistance, no follow through. They want to go up, but yeah, TradingView, yeah. Charts what I use. Chase to actually invest. Yeah, that's funny. I use TradingView to chart too for options, and then I enter and exit. Like I execute on Robinhood for options. So a micro is just what it sounds like. It's a smaller version of the NASDAQ contract. So the NASDAQ trades at $5 a tick, $20 a point. In the M&Q, the micro trades at 50 cents a tick and $2 a point. So the ES, you have the ES, which is a SPY, and then you have the MES, which is the micro. Yeah, micro is smaller. Yes, exactly. Yep. Just like macroeconomic studies, global and larger business, like the larger scale economy, and then microeconomics studies the smaller, like family businesses, mom and pop stores, and that. And you take them both and you understand the effects that the small has on the big and the big has on the small and the people, and supply and demand, everything that you see in these charts, supply and demand, the psychology, why things go up, why things come down, how things work. You learn that in economics. It's crazy. I took that course. I just took it as a what was it? I needed to have, I forget what category it's in, but I needed to have a course in that category, and I picked that one when I was studying for my chemistry degree, which I got my AS to focus in chemistry, and I want to complete my BS, but I don't want to work. That's the thing about me. I would love to just learn. See, that was not a long. It made me bullish. Made everybody bullish, and they got stopped out. I would love to just learn chemistry and just keep learning. But like I was working in a lab and around all those chemicals and stuff, I didn't like it. I like the lab part, but I don't like. That's what I was doing though. I was doing applied chemistry and not analytical. This is bearish now, and it's Friday. Support is there. Then we got to remember all these cluster zones from earlier. Remember, see where we are. That dotted line right there is our current price. We get down here, there is resistance, there could be support down here. This is madness. Yeah. Let me see our stocks breaking down. Yeah, Meta is down, Tesla is down, CrowdStrike is down, Amazon is down, Apple is up, Google is up, ABGO is up, Palantir is down, Nvidia is up, SPY, QQQ, SoFi is down. I wonder what AMD is doing. I don't got AMD on here. And what am I looking at? Let me see if I can pop. Can I pop this out? I can't pop it out. Table view. Okay. This is what I was looking at, my little list. Look at that. Right back. Look. Came to the middle. Bounce right at the middle. It's Friday. What does that mean? It's Friday. That means that the price action on Fridays, I don't know. It's crazy because I was going to say Fridays you either get a move or you don't, but that's every day, right? But Fridays is like if you don't make your money early, or if you make it, if you don't make it early, don't go chasing. If you make it before 10:30, just let it be that. Whether it's 100, 200, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, whatever. You make it, just take it. Take the money and run. Fridays are usually quiet markets, but when they rally big. Or when they sell off big. But I'm gonna end the stream in 16 minutes. I'm gonna go work. I hope they all down by next Tuesday when I'm ready to reinvest. I heard that. Right, because the name of the game is buy low, sell high, right? You want to buy low, sell high. You don't want to buy at the top. You don't want to short at the bottom. So you don't want to go long at the top. You don't want to buy, and you don't want to short or sell at the bottom, because that's a recipe for disaster. But look, investing is the same, right? So you looking at your 4-hour charts and your 1-hour charts, and you seeing what it's doing overall, right? And then you figure out where you want to get in, right? This is a daily. This is what the daily looks like. So these were the highs. These were the highs in December. We're down here now. Well, actually, we're up here. We came all the way in here to like, what was that? I think this was actually October. Yeah, to December. We came all the way down to December 2023 prices, which is nuts. That is nuts. 2 years worth of profits wiped out. Was that the time to buy? I mean, somebody here thought so. When Trump said, now is the time to buy, and then the markets went up 2,000 points like 3-4 hours later. That was wild. I was like, what? And I stopped trading that day. I don't know. I was just trying to be, disciplined and pass my 150K eval. And I usually pay attention to the markets, and I said on my live that I was going to watch the markets and listen in, and if I found something I was going to trade it, but I didn't pay attention to it. And then 358, I checked the chart. I checked the charts around 12. I checked them like one time, but it wasn't doing anything. Sometime I checked it. It made a move, like a little move, but I was like, And then at 358, I heard something about the market skyrocketing, and I was like, what? And I looked, and it was up 2,000 points. Y'all gotta understand that that's historical. That is historical. The markets have never, when else? Let's see, what's this candle? 745. This is the 17, 8, 17, 7, 18, 7. That's almost 1,000 point candle. But 2,000? Crazy. Wild. This was in 2024. Oh yeah, that was after this big drop. What is this, July? Yeah, July here, because I thought we were going to complete that measure move that I had predicted. But we actually completed it. We actually completed it here. And down and got within that zone. But yeah, Fridays. It's Fridays. It's Friday. We're sitting at a doji right now for the daily, as you can see. So I don't think I'm gonna take any more trades today. I'm down $1,000. I'm fine with that. That's cool. I feel good about not losing the account, because losing it is painful. That would have been even more painful than losing 1,000. It's okay. We'll come back Monday and we'll give it our best, right? See what the markets do. I might stream Sunday night, actually, for the Sunday night open. It depends. Maybe. No, I'm not. I'm staying away from those overnight markets. Sometimes it's good if I Get up at like 3 or 4 and catch a trade and then hold it. Right? Set the risk and set the take profit, and you wake up $1,000. Those nights are always good. But when I'm actively trading it, but sometimes I wake up and I'm down 300 or 400 depending on what I risk on a trade. But others, like I said, you know, that's the trade. You set it and forget it. You set a loss at 300, and you know, or two, depending on the trade. But most of the time, I try to go for like, you know, 300, 400. You know, risk that to make 1,000, and when it hits, it feels good. When you wake up, and you're like, I just made $1,000 in my sleep. But that's when we're getting movement, right? And I'm waiting for that. Right now, we're not. See if I can hide the drawings. I'm waiting for something like this to happen, but not on such a large scale, right? That was a better one, but I'm looking for something like, you know, this right here to happen. Right there, where them crosses to happen. That was at 9 a.m. Waiting for something like that to hold it, right? The same things I look for on the smaller charts, on the smaller time frame, I look for in the larger time frames. When it lines up on a larger time frame, I know it's time to hold. I'm just missing a trade. If it was one. Sorry, I'm not on trade. It's time to hold, and if not, then we just trade the ranges like this. What we see. 1020. Are we trying to go make a new low? Are we trying to extend initial balance a little bit? Those blue lines are my initial balance I have marked up. What's going on, Court? I hope everyone is feeling blessed. I lost $20 yesterday because I wasn't watching a 1 minute MACD. You know what you can do? Wait, I think the RSI lets you do it. Let me see if the MACD lets you do it. No, right here. Are you paying attention, Court? Free game right here. You can do it with the RSI. Sometimes I have mine set up like that, but chart, so you can be on the 5 minute chart and you have the 5 minute MACD up. But if you want to pay attention to the 1 minute MACD, so that you can say, okay, the 1 minute MACD is crossing and it's lining up with the 5 minute cross that I see, right? The 1 minute MACD is turning bullish or bearish, whatever. You're looking for the cross on the MACD on the 1 minute, and you're looking for the moving average cross on the 5. Then you can go up here where it says indicator time frame and it says chart. You can change it to 1 minute. And so see how it changed that? So this is what the 1 minute MACD looks like, and this is a 2 minute chart. So yeah, I figured that out one day. I'm always in here playing with stuff. And when the market conditions are favorable, I like to change that too. But I have my charts open. You know what I mean? But I like to change it. Like I just was saying, the big moves that I'm looking for. So I'll have this like on a 3 minute, but I'll have my MACD on like a 5 minute. And then I'm paying attention to the 30 over here, because when the moving averages and the MACD on a 5 match up with the 30 and the 15, when they match up, that's when we're getting a big move, like a trend is coming. But it only happens so, look, we're short. It only happens so often, but hopefully I'll be able to catch one of those trades live. This is bearish. This is bearish. This is bearish. If we come break this. Oh, look at the cloud. Look at the MACD. It's bleeding. It's bleeding. We're making new lows. Okay. Initial balance is not established yet. I don't know what that beat is. Well, but you changing the order. That's all right. I'm just letting you know. When you look at the chart, you know. It's all right. I gotta work too. My phone's not charging again. I need to just buy another charger, or just take this and get it warranty. I just bought this charger, and then I went to sit down while I was plugged into my desk here, and it just went shoot, and I bent it, and I was like, oh. Like 2 weeks, 2 weeks after I got the charger. I could just plug it into this. All right, we're getting a bounce off of those lows there. I'm not, you know what? I might trade though, but I might. I wish I could lock myself. That's the only thing about Apex. I wish I could lock myself. Top step, you can lock yourself out. So when I make 1,500, I lock myself out. Or if it's a slow market, I'll make 500 and lock myself out. I got my tea because it's cold outside where I'm at. Temperature is? It's 38 degrees, baby. You gotta love it. You gotta love Ohio. April 4th, 38 degrees. I mean, this is perfect, you know? I put my shorts on. Nice beach hat, some sandals. Or maybe some spring wear because it's not summertime yet. But I'm gonna put my winter coat on. I'm not wearing a hat because my hair is curly out, but I'm gonna have my hood on and a hoodie in April. April 11th. Today's somebody's birthday. No, May 11th. Somebody's birthday just passed. Who's birthday? G's birthday just passed. April 8th. Oh, bugging. The bears are still here. Gotta get my nephew. 1028. Initial balance is almost established. 2 minutes. Bears are still there. I missed that short up there. Is this pre-market lows right here? 10:15 p.m. No, 8:45 p.m. We got lower to go to pre-market lows. Pre-market lows are actually here. On Ohio, right? Get out of Ohio, it's so hot. I mean, it's too cold. I say it's hot. Honey, I'm trying to text. Trying to do 2 things. Yes, it's cold. It's not for me either. Market is bouncing. And it's 10:30. I'm going to start my car so I can get out here and work. Oh, look, my Zapper pen is in my pocket that I was looking for. This music about to put me to sleep. Sunday rain? No. Sunday chill. Oh, Sunday chill. Is this? All right. Guys, got about 5 minutes. The cloud is bullish, trying to open up. Initial balance has officially been established here between these thick blue dotted lines. The first hour of trading. Now it's just, what do we do? Do we trade back up into this range? Do we come break initial balance? Retest it? Trade lower? Do we go up? I don't know. It's Friday. It's Friday. We'll be back on Monday, 8 a.m. Come on here and trade with me. Politic without politics. We're bouncing. We don't know what they want to do. Here's the support zone. So previous support could be supply zone. Rejecting off of it so far. Okay. Bullish. Bulls are there. All right. This is a 2-minute chart, so you see it better on the 1 minute. Tested this level twice before bouncing off of it. Here's one test. Hey, I like that switch up. Here's one test. Here's the second test. But we have the support and resistance zone within here. So I mean, what are we doing? Do we turn this? And ironically, the VWAP is there. VWAP is flat. We trying to start the markets, y'all, but you know, all the gazelles and the lionesses, the gazelles and the zebras, the zebras, and which is the markets, they just they just got away from us today. I mean, you know, they wasn't, every time we got close, they heard us sneaking up, so we didn't stock these markets today. They got away from us. Every kill we went for got away from us. So we didn't get to eat today, but that's okay, because you know why? There's always another day. The markets ain't going nowhere. We put up a good fight. It's Friday. We're funded. Did I tell y'all, by the way? Let me tell y'all while y'all listening. Yesterday, I ended the stream negative $1,566. Took a trade, lost a couple trades, got caught up, one candle. My bias was to the downside. I knew I wanted to short it. And then I said, where is it at? Right here. Oh, I remember the candle well. I remember the candle well right here. I wanted to go short here. As it was holding up, the bulls was holding up, I said, you know what? We might go test this zone and then pull back. Instead of me waiting to see, like I'm supposed to do, be patient, I said, I'm going to take a long. And if I lose, that's okay. I'm going to get out of it. Before I can even put the stop loss on, because I didn't have it automatically set. I was actually upstairs. It started to go like it was going in my favor. This candle opened and flush. I'm back. Then I took like another trade. I was like, okay, no follow through. Let me go long. Came down, stopped me out. I said, oh shit. I said, oh no, this going, okay. Account gone. And I said, it was something like that within here. And then I said, okay, it's going short, right? This is my original bias. The moving averages were crossing over. The MACD was, you know, tapering off. We're getting this cross right here. We got this cross right here. I'm looking at it, finding rejection. Look at the cloud. The EMA rejections were below the 200. I was waiting on this here, but for some reason, I went against my bias, trying to be greedy, and that's what happened. So that's all right. I lost that account. I lost $5,000. Blew the account. That's okay. I said, I still got my bias. So I had a 50K account. Came down here. Clicked on the drop down menu. Switched to a 150K account. I mean, to my 50K account. Excuse me. I needed $3,000 to pass. Made $3,000 to pass. That was crazy because I started the day with that 150K that I blew at $156,059. So I needed like $3,950. So after losing $5,000, I went and made $3,000 on my initial bias. That's why being patient is important. And they say bears make money, bulls make money, but pigs get slaughtered, right? If you're trying to be greedy, you're gonna get slaughtered. I did not need to take this trade up into this zone, up into this cluster. All I needed to do was let price get there, make sure it was doing what I needed it to do to get into my original trade I wanted to get into. But I didn't do that, even though I had it on my mind. I pushed the button too fast, and so I lost the account. That's okay. $3,000 we got funded. Beautiful. I don't know if y'all heard it. I told this earlier, but we got funded. Beautiful. So I said this move is gonna continue, right? It's doing it. I'm like, this move is going to continue. So we reset the 150K account. We make 8580.50. So I make $8,580.50 on that account. You need $9,000 to pass. Instead of me waiting until today, that's what sent me on tilt. So that losing that account after making $8,000 is what put me into that mood, and it bled over into last night, which was bad. Okay, why did my YouTube just do that? That was so weird. Okay, but so it came down here. This was 7%. It dropped. Said it's gonna keep dropping. Made money. I was $6,000. I was like 62.50. And I said, that's crazy, because I started the other account up $6,059. So I was up about 150 from where I started. So I was basically even though I was up 8,000, well, 6,000 at that time, 62.50 at that time in this account. And so then I said it's gonna bounce as soon as it get at 7%, because below 7% they have what they call a limit down, where the market will stop trading. They will literally halt trading at 7% down. And so we were there, and it bounced. I knew it. I said, look at that bounce. It bounced, got this green candle. So here, this red candle opened up here, tried to go lower, started pushing up. I said, I'm going long. I go long. So then take that long, just a quick scalp, and then I take it into this trade. I take another, I let it do what it was going to do to break these levels. It broke it. It came back and tested. It did this. And then I got in on that candle. And that's when I was up $8,000. And then somewhere, somehow, between 3 o'clock and 3:21, where was it? I lost my account. Here's the 3:21 candle right here. That candle right there. It was the craziest thing ever, because I think I went long here for the break, and then the break of this, but it came down. I was like, oh no. So I was about $2,000. I was down 2,000, like around 2,000 or 1,800. Okay. I think I took a short right here somewhere, got a little bit back, but then I went short here, thinking that we were gonna take out these wicks, and it popped, and I panicked. It just popped. I panicked. It was bad, so I lost that. I lost $5,000 right here, and I should have just left it alone, right? It happens though. This is what happens when you trade prop firms, because what's another $419 if I just made 8,000, right? Wrong. That's the wrong way to think about it. The moment I start thinking, oh, well, I only have to make 419, I should have cut it there, because the moment you start trading your profit, well, the moment I start trading, and I think for other traders it's the same, but the moment you start trading your P&L, it just goes to hell. You just need to focus on the trade. And so as I was short, I was like, this is not a short. This is building support. It's gonna bounce another time. I don't know when it's gonna fall. It's gonna fall, but I was like, this is building support right here. Buyers are coming in. And then whoop, went up by 321. I lost the account. And I was like, damn. And I just kind of laughed a little bit. And even though I had a funded account, losing, especially after making that much, and barely with any effort, like it was smooth. I think I took a couple losses, but it was smooth. That hurts. Loss aversion is where the loss you suffer is greater than what you gain. The any wins. So if you make $1 million, it's not as powerful as losing $1 million. And I think it has something to do with I don't know if it's whatever is released, when we experience stress and things like that. But yep, so that was that. And then that bled over, I think, into last night a little bit. Into my trading last night. Not being disciplined. Making dumb decisions. Happens to the best of us. But we're in a funded account. That 150K resets on its own on the 20th or the 21st. I can reset it if I want, but I have this funded account to trade, and I have another 50K with Top Step starting Monday. So I don't want to have, I don't, there's no reason, unless something bad happens with this account. There's no reason to reset the other account. And just be patient and wait for it. I need to restart my computer. Just be patient and wait for it to reset. It'll be all fine. It'll be all as well, But this is what it's like to trade with prop firms. So, but just imagine that. So I lost $5,000. Then I made $3,000. And then I made 8,500. Right? So that's a $16,000 swing. So after losing 5,000, I made 11,500. Then I lost 5,000. So if I was in a personal account, I guess you would have, I guess, you know, the numbers worked out in your favor. But in a personal account, would that really have happened? You know, the only reason I think maybe what helped me being able to reset was the fact that the pressure wasn't on because it was a whole new account. You know, after being down, I mean, I lost 5,000, but it wasn't of my real money. It was in the evaluation count, just based off of trades that I've taken in this. It's a real environment, but it's simulated, right? This is real market data, but this is a simulated environment, right? So they're just basically evaluating you. But imagine that I lost $5,000 of my own money, and then I went on to make 3,000, and then went on to lose 5,000 again. Would I have lost more than that second 5,000? You know what I mean? Because if I had the freedom to trade, would I have the discipline to stop? And that's where right now I say no. And that's only because I'm in the prop firms, and I stopped because I had to, because that was the max loss limit. But maybe I would have kept trying to trade and get it back. And if it was my personal account, I lost 20,000 or 10, another 10,000, that's unacceptable. That's not profitable. And that's why prop firms are the best thing for new traders, right? Because it helps you learn to manage your risk and understand the importance of managing your risk before you even take the money and go trade into a personal account. Because you can make this money in these prop firms if you want, but if you're just going to get in your personal account with bad habits, you're not going to do anything but lose the money back. So it really helps build the character and the skill that's needed. That was a nice long one. I just ran my mouth. I'm not trading. Hey, but look, we I did not think that we were going to go try to test the highs. I said, maybe we can push back up into the middle, but if we break through the middle, do we go test the highs to make a new high? Come back, test initial balance area to see if we want to fall back in here or find support off of it and bounce. I don't know. We didn't break below it though. Will we break above it, have a failed side auction or continuation? But this was a nice move here and here. This was a nice trade too. But see, this is why you see all these wicks on the way up. You see there's wicks on the way down, but these candles just look so much cleaner than this move on the way up. That's why I like pullbacks, or I like bear cycles better than bull cycles. Because I'm like, oh, like right here, I'm like, man, do I sell? Is it going to reject? And when it rejects swiftly. But that's it for me today, guys. Thank you for tuning in with me. I'll be back Monday morning. God bless you all. If you're gonna stay in these markets, be safe, trade smart. Don't force anything. Don't be like me. Be like me when I'm doing well. Be like me when I'm doing good and I'm really disciplined. Which is what, just staying strong in your conviction. I mean, if the trade is there, take it. Manage your risk, right? We're going to test that. That's a slope and support. But I gotta go work. Gotta get my nephew from work at 10. And yeah, everybody have a blessed weekend. And I'll see you on Monday. He said, wow, Auntie, what? Oh yeah, on our account. I know. I know it happens. That's what I'm saying. It is. That's why prop firms is the best thing. Like, just imagine, and it wasn't even. It didn't take much. I didn't lose the entire 8 because you can only lose 5,000 from the high. That's your risk. And the numbers make sense, right? If you were in they simulate these accounts to make them like real like environment. So if you have $150,000 and you know you're losing $5,000 a day, that's it. You know, that's just not. That's that. What is that like? More than 4%? Is that 4%? 3%? Somewhere around there, 3.5%. 3.2%? 3.3%? 3.4%? Somewhere around 3.33 something percent. And that's a lot, right? A lot of traders on their real accounts, they don't risk more than like 1% of their account, but they have big accounts. You know, per trader per day, because it's a math thing. So it should be like that. You know, but when you're learning, which I still am, I'm 4 years, it sounds like a long time, but I am still learning. Um you're always going to learn because the market conditions always change, cycles change, you know, presidents change every so many years, so you only get to trade that type of market setting so many times, depending on, you know, people that are just now seeing this for the first time. They're thinking that this is the way the markets are. This is not the way the markets are. And so when the markets die down and settle down, people right now that are just starting to learn, they're going to be like, especially if they're making money, you know, with other people like teaching them, they're going to be like, if we ever get back to normal markets, they're going to be like, where did volatility go? Like, these candles are so small. Like, you know what I mean? It's 20-point candles is good. You know, there's 5-point candles, 10-point candles. What is going on? What happened to the 100-point candle? These are not normal market conditions, but it's all good. Trust me, I've done worse. I've blown 5 accounts in a day on tilt. You know, being on tilt is like when you're balanced, you're thinking correctly, you're thinking straight, you're patient, you're disciplined. When you're on tilt and you're unbalanced, your emotions are hijacked and you don't care. You know, you're not seeing the markets correctly. You're pushing the button. No, I'm right, I'm wrong, I'm right, I'm wrong, I'm right, I'm wrong. Right? If you think the market is going long, you go long. One candle flipping short, you'll go short, and in a flip long, you'll go long, instead of giving it a second and remembering, right? Being balanced and remembering that within each move, there's going to be up and down candles. But when you're on tilt, I mean, it could be for different reasons. Some traders, you know, it could be they're getting revenge on the markets. They're trying to prove that they don't care about the accounts. You know, they're upset for whatever reason. So yeah, it'd be like that. It really does. But thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace and love. Have a good weekend. All right.